So, here's the basic story. A 34-year-old man from Amsterdam between March and November of 2025 opened account after account at ABN AMRO, one of the biggest banks in the Netherlands. The court found he got through the bank's identity check 47 separate times, each one registered to a different real person who had no idea. On June 16, 2026, the Amsterdam District Court convicted him and gave him 30 months in prison, 6 of those suspended plus an order to pay the bank over 13,000 euros. The court handed down exactly what the prosecutors asked for. In the Dutch system, that's actually pretty rare. It also didn't help him that he already had convictions for financial crimes back in 2022 and 2023, so this wasn't his first rodeo. Now, you might be thinking, okay, fake accounts, who cares? That's the bank's problem. But it isn't, and this is the part that matters. The accounts were just the infrastructure for laundering money. Dozens of real working bank accounts in other people's names is basically a private laundromat. The court says some of them were used for what the Dutch call bank help desk fraud, where someone phones you pretending to be your bank and talks you into moving your money, and that money landed in those accounts. There is also CCTV of him walking up and depositing big stacks of cash into them. Okay, let's get into the actual mechanics, because this is a clean attack and it goes in steps. Step 1. He needed real identity documents, real passports, real ID cards belonging to real people. Some of this he just pulled off social media, but the clever one and honestly the nasty one was this. He posted fake apartment listings on Marktplaats, which is basically the Dutch Craigslist. Amsterdam's housing market is brutal. People are desperate, so when a landlord says, hey, send me a copy of your passport and your payslips to verify your application, people just do it. Step 2. He took those ID photos and used Deepfake software to blend the victim's face with his own. So he built a selfie that looks enough like the person on the ID to fool the bank's automatic matching. Step 3. The bank's app says take a selfie so we can confirm it's you. Now, the prosecutors described this with a really important phrase. They called it an injection attack, meaning he didn't hold a photo up to the phone camera like some amateur. The fake image gets fed straight into the data stream the bank app reads as its camera. The bank never sees a real camera. Step 4. Account approved, debit card mailed out, repeat 47 times. One more thing, and it's the detail everyone's going to remember. Investigators found he'd been asking ChatGPT how to get past the bank's identity checks. He literally used an AI assistant to research the attack, and those questions were sitting right there on his phone. So why did this work 47 times for months? It comes down to one gap. The bank's system answered one question really well. Does this face match this ID? Yes, it does. What it never checked was whether the face belonged to a real, live human being sitting there right now. That's called liveness. The right person, a real person in real time. The bank had the first part and almost nothing on the other two. And once liveness is missing, an injection attack walks straight through, because there is no real camera feed for the system to check in the first place. What's almost funny is how it finally got caught. It wasn't the technology that flagged it. It was a person at the bank who looked at an application where a woman's ID was paired with a selfie that was obviously a man's face with her features blended on top. The algorithm passed it, the human didn't. The machine was confident and completely wrong. So what actually stops this? Two levels, the bank side and the human side. On the bank side, it's liveness detection. Newer standards back this up. NIST's updated identity guidance in the US now treats injection attack detection as a required control for higher assurance verification, and there are European benchmarks specifically for testing whether a system can resist this stuff. The short version, matching a face to an ID is no longer enough on its own. The system has to prove the person is real and present. But here's the part for the rest of us, because most of you don't run a bank. This whole thing started with people handing over their passports to a fake landlord. So treat your ID documents like you treat your passwords. Sending a copy of your passport is a high-risk action. Legitimate companies use proper verified channels, not a DM asking you to send pics of your ID to rent a flat. And the bigger lesson, the one that outlives this case, stop trying to spot the deepfake. Modern fakes don't have the obvious tells anymore, no weird blinking, no 6 fingers. If you're waiting to catch the glitch, you've already lost, so verify the request itself. Call back on a number you already trust, get a second person to sign off on anything that moves money or identity. Treat the picture as unproven until the procedure behind it checks out. And this is exactly the gap Brightside is built for. The whole reason this attack worked is that people and systems still trust a face they can see. Brightside runs deepfake and AI impersonation simulations so your team actually experiences what a convincing synthetic face or voice feels like in a real workflow, before a criminal shows them one for real. Because the takeaway from this case is simple: stop trusting a face just because you can see it and verify the request behind it. That's a trained instinct. The fraudster here used the best AI tools available. Your people should be trained against the same ones.